Hello, testing 1 2. Are we live? Are we here? I know I haven't streamed for about a week. I've just been relaxing after the Journey of Reborn Shadowbringers. Hey Five, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Welcome in, friend. What's up, Cody? Also, welcome in. How are you doing today? Welcome to the stream. You thought it was live tomorrow. Oh, no. On my post, it's May 15th. Today's May 15th. Oh, breathe. But yeah, no, I won't lie, Five. You got me second guessing for a moment. Like, am I doing this a day early? Oh no. Ah, May 15th, 2 p.m. Central. No, you're fine. I was slightly anxious before I started stream because I have a new computer desk and I was making sure that everything was laid out correctly. So I'm getting used to my new layout. I need to get used to my new layout. Works for you? You're not working today? Heck yeah, heck yeah. Ooh, new desk. Yeah. The good thing with my new desk is now I don't have to really look down at my computer screen. Instead, I more or less have to look like I need to actually sit up straight more, so this is good for my back. Right now, the only thing has been figuring out how I'm going to set my tablet up, but I currently have it in a spot I think that works best. At least so I can see the chat and I have food on the table so I can eat. So yeah, tis a work in progress, but I will get used to it. I will get used to it. Alright, and also, I need to get used to where my mouse is going, so let me... Okay. Yep, my character's gonna bug out every time I look at the screen, but this is okay. I can still see chat from here, that's what matters. I could see you guys. If anything sounds off, or if I am bugging out weird, please let me know. I will do my best to adjust to all the circumstances today. Got a lot going on. And oh, thank you for sending that in DMs, Cody. And, oh gosh, 8 months sub-anniversary. That's insane. Thank you for the support as always, friend. Thank you. Now, I know today's situation's gonna be interesting, to say the least, because you don't hear of people hosting follower marathons. And in my case, the reason I'm hosting a follower marathon is because I do this for fun. I'm not asking for subscribers. I don't do that kind of thing. That's usually not my thing. So, I thought instead it's going to be based on how many followers, which I know it seems like I'm grabbing at straws. I'm not sure how else to describe it, but think of it as just silly things happen when we get to particular milestones. That's the best way I can word this. I need to take a deep breath for a second. And we'll get things rolling here in a second, but anybody that's possibly new here that's lurking, and that's new to the Journey Reborn series. This is a New Game Plus series in which I go through the events of Final Fantasy XIV again on my main character through New Game Plus. We've been swapping outfits as we go along, depending on place and story. However, we've gotten to the point where we're starting to merge back with the current timeline. So there will not be that many outfit changes, meaning you'll pretty much see me as myself. If you see the roleplay tag, it is to just ensue that I'm going through, or it's just to show that I'm going through New Game Plus. That's the only reason for that. Otherwise, I will be reading out all of the dialogue that has no voice acting to it. And if there is voice acting, I'll let the voice acting do its job. I won't interrupt that unless I just need to say something to you guys or respond to a comment. But yeah, otherwise, unless there are any questions, without further ado, I guess we're gonna get started. Every day until we complete Endwalker New Game Plus, I will be streaming for about 6 hours. I'm gonna try to get through as much of story as I can in 6 hours, because I realize if I go 8 hours a day, that's gonna be a bit of a burnout for me. So I want to take my pace. I want things to be smooth sailing. I don't want to overdo it. Oh, thank you so much for the self-care package, Cody. I appreciate that. I'll get out of my chair to stretch in a moment, but first I'm gonna drink some water, and then I'm going to eat another bite of my breakfast burrito because Eric made food earlier before stream. Yummy breakfast burritos. You're gonna see this blue line a lot. There's nothing I can do about it. When I have to tab, put the water on the avatar. There we go. It's not clipping now. Also, I know it's a Monday and people are probably at work, so it's gonna be quiet for a while, and that's alright. The stream will go until about 8 p.m., or depending on how stuck in a cutscene we are, probably 8:30. Oh, well, mostly eat. That's fair, that's fair. Okay. Let me get out of my chair to stretch a second. Oh, another thing is that I now have my chair more elevated, so I don't have to worry about a height difference with the desk anymore. I don't have to worry about my legs getting hit against the desk, unless it's my drawers, which I don't mind that. But my main worry was under my old desk, there was like a big ol' like under shelf system, which blocked off my leg movement a lot. So I can now swing my legs under my desk. Yeah, thank you so much again, Cody, for that self-care package. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. I think we are good to begin. I already took 12 minutes just doing the intro. Alright, let's get to it. I should be good. Enter the New Game Plus mode. It should just be all of Endwalker. I want to make sure because I didn't... Okay, I think so. Across the realm, ominous towers of the Telephories making strike into the heavens, fueled by the pillaged piety of captured innocents. The final days, an apocalyptic threat unknown to living memory, loom on the horizon. Yet Charlian, the veritable capital of knowledge, would rebuke the Eorzean Alliance's plea for assistance. Undaunted, the Scion set forth to discover what wisdom could possibly lurk in turning a blind eye to calamity. And before I forget, I'm gonna set up my roleplay tag. We're in New Game Plus officially. Let's go. Hold on. Sorry. clear. Jesus Christ, sorry. I was trying to clear my throat with water and it made it 100 times worse. The beginning of stream be an anxiety. I am so sorry. Okay. Solist, do you have some time to talk? I would like to gather everyone in Dawn's respite and together assess the situation in which we find ourselves. Here we go. Attorney Reborn, Endwalker, and no auto. There's no voice acting here. Let us take stock of the facts, shall we? The crisis at hand began with the sudden appearance of ominous towers in a multitude of locations throughout the world. We have since learned that said structures were brought into being by an organization known as the Telefori. The Telefori's stated purpose is to recreate the final days of eons past, an apocalyptic event that would result in the destruction of all we hold dear. Already have these towers of theirs been the cause of untold suffering. Sorry about that. Countless innocents kidnapped and imprisoned, their faith perverted for primal summonings. And unless we find a way to deal with the corruptive aura surrounding the spires, we can't even get close enough to rescue anyone. Those shielded with the blessing of light seem able to resist being tempered at least. But after what happened to Ehrenwald and Fordola, we need to be very, very careful about how we proceed. Yet while these threats close to home are of paramount concern, we mustn't lose sight of the situation in Garlemald. As you know, the Telefori are under the leadership of Daniel and one other delightful fellow, Xenosier Galvis, the Crown Prince and our dear friend. To date, he's reclaimed his body, murdered the Emperor Varus, and plunged Garlemald into an ever deeper pit of chaos. The capital has probably seen the worst of it. For a good while there, I saw the bloodiest fighting in the War of Succession, but that has since changed, and in troubling ways. Aye, during our reconnaissance, the air was not once rent by the barking of cannons or the cries of discord. 'Twas an eerie fog of silence which did blanket that ruined city. The inhabitants appeared to have been tempered, and with nary a word spoken did they labor to transform the palace into a soaring edifice born of nightmares. If they were indeed made thralls, it seems safe to assume that these events, too, were orchestrated by the Telefori. An army of primals is awful enough, but in light of recent developments, I fear it is only the prelude to an even greater catastrophe. We need to devise a means to counter this threat, and quickly, before our allies are overwhelmed. We will find a way in Charlian, I am sure of it. Master Fortunault's comments regarding the final days were curious to say the least. The forum's known more than it's letting on. It knows more than it is letting on.
Sorry to interrupt. We've just received word from Mistress Kryl. She says that arrangements for your visit have been finalized. You're to head to Limsalaminta and board the next ship bound to Charlene. And on arrival, present yourselves as associates of the students of Aldessian. Come to assist with the Order's restoration.
Oh wait, Charlian, we're actually going? Oh boy. The arrangements may be settled, but what are your thoughts? They must raise at the prospect of returning home after so long. I am eager to see it, of course. Of course. We should set off at once. Oh hey, Lon Lon. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Welcome in, friend. And thank you for the alert.
Then I'll accompany you to the docks. You need at least one person there to wave and cry and wish you a safe journey.
Oh boy, we get to go back to the motherland. Return to the motherland. Where's my stupid hat? I had to scavenge the market board for this baby. Going back home after so long on this journey, I can't show my ears. They can't know. They cannot know. They can't. They're gonna question me. They're gonna wonder why am I wearing such a silly hat, and I'll tell them it's cold. It's Charlie and it's cold. Ha 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 ha. Ha. This is fine. This is okay. Charlie and childhood trauma. Oh Lord. To the docks. Like, I could take the hat off anywhere else. I just need to keep it on in Charlie. That is the only rule. Only rule. I'm just a healer returning to Charlian after X amount of years. We're just gonna go.
Everyone's here, which is good because I've already paid for your passage, and the fee is non-refundable. The ship for Charlian should be pulling into port soon, so please follow me and have all your luggage close at hand. Why are you wearing that hat?
Don't ask. Oh, this is voice acted for sure. Here you guys go. Oh. Recognizable NPCs? Whoa.
そろそろ2の積み下ろしが終わるそうだ。乗船は問題なく始まりそうだな。
あら、聞いてきてくれたのね。よかったわ。旅の最初くらいは順調に行きたいもの。
まったくだ。この町に住んでたガキの頃、こいつと同じ外洋航路船でシャーレアンから来たルイゾア様に出会ったんだ。そして今、その孫たちとシャーレアンに帰ろうとしている。つくづく不思議なもんだな、人生ってやつは。
Return to Charlian.
ええ、流れゆく時を感じます。当時のあなたはこの港に降り立った我が死に窃盗を働こうとして返り討ちにされたとか。随分成長しましたね、サンクレット。
へえ、それ詳しく聞いてみたいわね。
エスティニアン殿はシャーレアンに行くのは初めてかい？エスティニアン殿？
Estinian?
お前、いつまで俺だけ他人行儀に呼ぶつもりだ？
違うんだ。これは尊敬しているからであって。
Alfie, you're trying too hard.
だったら改めろ。他と同じでいい。でないと俺も特別に敬って呼ぶぞ。な、アルフィの坊ちゃん。
Little Lord Alfino.
わかったからその呼び方はよしてくれ。これからも仲間としてよろしく頼むよ、エスティニアン。
ああ、ま、それなりにな。
Helps Alphino get out of his shell.
タートル、どうかしたか？すごく不安だって顔に書いてあるぞ。
いえ、そういうわけじゃ。シャーリアンは皆さんにとって故郷でもありますし。ただ相手にするのは世界の破壊を企むテロフォロイです。きっとまた命がけの戦いになります。私はこちらに残りますから、また皆さんと無事に会えるのかなってつい考えてしまって。
I'll bring them back safe and sound. I promise.
はい、約束です。
おお、間に合ったようでよかった。
ホーリーボルダー、クルトゥネもどうしたの？
私たちはこれからラノシアの塔へ向かい、国家団やコボルド族と協力して異形の蛮身対策に当たります。その前に見送りようと思いまして。留守を守ってくれているフラミンさんや任務中の面々が皆さんの無事を願っていると言っていました。そしてこっちは任されたとも。私たちも同じ気持ちです。暁の血命を挙げて世界の終焉を退けましょう。
出港の準備ができたぞ。シャーレアンに向かうやつは速やかに乗ってくれ。
The boat is ready. Oh man.
時間だな。
では行ってくるよ。有力な情報を得られたらすぐに連絡する。こちらで任務に当たる皆こそくれぐれも気をつけてくれ。
皆さん、いってらっしゃいませ。
Thank you, Tataru. Tataru, best bean. Like, no longer are the stressful days of the Warrior of Light when she first started her journey, and now she's going all 360 back home. It's all coming together.
そうしてまたお前は一歩を踏み出した。それがやがて世界を救うのかは今の私たちをして定められず、故にただ新たな幕開けにふさわしい言葉を添えよう。生きることは死にゆくこと。出会えば別れ、始まれば終わる。せいぜい惜しんで進むがいい。その旅の先。星と命の沈む海底に真実は待つ。
Oh. We're on our way. We're on our way.
聞いて。感じて。考えて。
Never been good to sleep on ships.
あんたも目が覚めたのか？まだ明け方だぞ。まあここで熟睡する方が難しいよな。周りも起きてるやつの方が多そうだ。
I wouldn't want to wake them. So what are you doing up? What are your
誰
thoughts?
かに呼びかけられてた？いや、少なくとも俺には聞こえなかったが。とりあえず外の空気でも吸ってきたらどうだ？他のみんなもそうしてるみたいだ。もうすぐシャーレアン本島が見えてもいい頃だしな。
Yeah, I should get some air. You're right, Graha. God, the paralyzing feeling in my legs! Been sitting down too long. Baby steps. But the legs wake up and... Huh? That thing from before. I wasn't seeing things. Or I'm crazy. There's two options.
私の声がまだあなたに届いてくれて。聞いて、感じて、考えて。こうして地上で言葉を交わすのは初めてですね。クリスタルに導かれし光の戦士よ。
But... Why now, Heidelin?
ついに第一世界での旅を終えたあなたなら想像がつくかもしれません。あなたが見て、聞いて、触れてきた通り、私はハイデリンは古き万神です。古の時代、終末の最悪を退けるために作られたゾディアーク。そして私はそれを制する者。けれどあの時代を取り戻さんとする者の強い願いによってもう7度ゾディアークの統合を許しています。そうしてかの神が力を集めるほど私は急速に摩耗していく。もはやあなたの意識を狭間の領域に呼ぶことさえ叶いません。それで今回だけはどうしても伝えなければならなかった。あなたたちは私に導かれずとも己の意志で星の過去を受け止めました。もって私とあなた二つの時間が交わりかけています。
The conjunction of time.
だからこそ始まってしまうかもしれない。星と命をめぐる試練、運命を決するための大いなる戦いが。あなたがこの言葉の意味を知るとき、過酷な試練を超える力を その旅路のうちに得ていたのなら、遠い遠い時の彼方で交わされた約束を果たしましょう。
さあ、起きてるやつは前方をご覧あれ。目的のシャーレアン本島が見えてきたぞ。
お行きなさい。どんな時だって旅人は新天地に目を輝かせるものよ。
Unfamiliar? What are you talking about? I lived here.
きっとまたすぐに会いましょう。
I guess it's always gonna feel unfamiliar, huh? And she left. Huh. I guess I should go see home, huh? Oh.
いい朝ね。
Oh gosh! That's what that button
Ohio.
does. Thank you for finding out,
君は
May.
もう島を見たのかい？
じゃあ一緒に見に行きましょう。選手の方空いてるかしら。
Hey, that button is awesome. I'm happy you like it, Maypliss. Oh, that's something to drop in on. Hey, Anomalies. Yeah, Anomalies Stratic. Welcome to the stream.
やっぱり来たか。
I see it's your first time chatting here, both of you. How are you doing today? Welcome
今
in.
朝はよく見えるぞ。
We just got to Charlotte.
シャーレアン本国だ。
ああ、本当だ。
帰ってきたのね、私たち。ルベユール家に戻るためじゃなく、自分の選んだ道を進むために。
別にお前たちだけでやれって話でもないだろう。
ええ、彼の言う通り、私たちが同じ船に乗っているということをどうかお忘れにならぬよ
ありがとう、みんな。もちろん何より頼りにしているとも。
この船が入港するのは本国の中心地でもあるオールドシャーレアンよ。
Home sweet home.
あらゆる知
Keeping
識
the
と
hat
情
on.
報が集まるあの都で私たちは必ず成果を上げる。待っていてくれる人たちのためにもね。
Good, good. You're just having you a lazy day. You need to get some PvP grinding done tonight. You're trying to get that rank 25 reward before the series changes. Yeah, no worries, May. No worries. Definitely go do that. And also, if you're doing the Moogle Tombstone stuff, make sure to get that as well. That ends on the same day, I believe, May 23rd. And you're doing good, Anomaly Stratic. You saw my link in the Chocobo Nest Discord. Came to check it out. Yeah, no worries. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking it out. We're also doing a follower marathon during the Endwalker playthrough. I'll mention all that stuff here in a bit. Let me not interrupt their dialogue further.
知心左略を守護神として掲げ、あらゆる知識の集積者たらんとする学術とした。かつては帝地ドラバニアにも植民都市を持ち、各国からの留学生を受け入れていたものだが、ガレマール帝国のアラミゴ侵攻を受け、一夜にして大撤収を果たす。それほどまでに戦を嫌う徳学者たちは、果たしてお前の味方となりうるものか。
Aurora Borealis at this time of day, at this point of the year, it's entirely in this nation.
下船できるまで時間がかかったな。次は入国手続きか？
ええ、そっちでは引っかからないといいのだけれど。
シャーレアンは国交を閉ざしている状態なんだろう。今更だが、俺やこいつのようなよそ者でも許可は下りるのか？
ええ、確かに国家規模での取引は同盟を結んでいる一部の中立国としかしていないわ。
My character's so under the radar in
鎖国
Charlie.
を強固にしすぎては生活するにも不便だし、大目的である知識の集積にも支障が出る。だからきちんと申請がされていて、目的や身元を証明できさえすれば、シャーレアン人でなくても入国は可能になっているのよ。
なるほどな。
それについてみんなにも念押ししておきたいことがあるの。入国手続きでは所属や目的を問われるはず。そこでシャーレアン外の機関である暁を名乗るのは情勢的に避けておきたいわ。クルルからの連絡にあった通り、バルデシオン委員会再建のための協力者という形で話を進めましょう。あなたは元からバルデシオン委員会の所属でしょ。私たちの引率役ということで先導してもらえるかしら。
了解だ。入国手続きは確かこの先だったよな。
Oh lord, the immigration offices, here we go. You might work on it in a bit. You still need to go through the MSQ for Endwalker. Your summoner is already level 87 just from doing PvP and roulettes, but your main MSQ stuff's back at like 81 to 82. Oh goodness, May. You've got this, I believe in you.
もちろん。その文様。
The voice, all I think is Karen Lala. Karen Afel.
バルデシオン委員会所属の賢人グラハティアだ。
But is it in the kitchen, Stego? I don't
エオ
know.
ルゼアで調査に当たってたんだが、
The kitchen is
委員
outside.
会を立て直すため力になってくれる奴らを連れて帰還した。
And also, hi, Artist VT. I'm doing alright. Thank you so much for asking. How about you? Welcome to the stream. Sorry for the late response. I'm trying to make sure I don't interrupt the voice dialogue too much. I'm sorry. But yeah, again, I hope you're doing well, Artist VT.
賢人がいらっしゃるようですね。では、まとめて先に手続きをさせていただきます。養られるよ。
Doing well, thanks for asking. I'm happy to hear that. And my model's pretty nice. Oh, thank you. I'm flattered. Arigato. Thank you.
あれ、魔法の名簿だわ。大書院に保管されている国民名簿とつながってるのよ。
Oh, shoot. Is my name still in there?
全員確認が取れましたので、出入国の履歴に追記をしておきました。あなた方の手続きは以上です。
I made it myself? Yeah, I made the model myself in V-Roid Studio, Artist VT. Did all this in V-Roid.
アルフィのルベユールだ。
同じくアリゼー・ルベユールよ。
はい、こちらも問題なく完了です。ですが、ルベユール家のご子息とご息女は感動されたと、最近もっぱらの噂ですよ。 そうであっても帰国を拒む理由にはなりませんが、何かと憂慮すべきことが多い時世です。くれぐれも問題は起こさないように。
ああ、肝に銘じておこう。
あとの2人はシャーレアン街の協力者なんだが、申請はされているはずだから確認してくれ。
None of them know, and none of them will ever know. She is adoptive
お名前とご職
nation.
業は？
But her Solist, adventurer by trade.
冒険者。冒険者ね。まあ、エオルゼアでは正式な職業になっているようですし。
Nice, actually, you're a VTuber
申請とも
modeler.
相違は
That's
ないの
cool.
で
I
いい
think
でし
you've
ょう。
brought that up to me a long time ago, if I remember correctly.
それで、そ
But
ちら
yeah,
の
it's
方
been a
は？
bit.
エスティニアンバーリのイシュガルドの竜騎士団に所属していた。
していた。つまり元軍人ですね。失礼ですが、今は何をお仕事に？
Estinian?
待ってください。
Oh, Cryle.
その人は間違いなくうちで雇った傭兵です。ほら、バルデシオン委員会には危険地帯での調査がつきものでしょ。
クルル・バルデシオン。申請の主であるあなたがそう証言するのなら構いませんが、いくら背に腹が変えられない状況でもうろんな連中を呼び込むのは感心しませんね。一歩間違えれば今度こそあなた方の組織は。
ご忠告ありがとうございます。大丈夫。彼らは信頼できる友人で仲間ですから。
You think it may be if I'd like to rebrand my model? No thank you, Artist VT. I appreciate the kind offer, but I think I'm good where I'm at.
元気そうでよかった。
I've been asked before about it.
それはこっちのセリフよ。
I think I'll stick with my
船
my
旅
own
お疲
stuff,
れ様。
whether it's professional or not.
早速いろいろ話したいところだけど、ここ
But
だと
please keep up the
邪魔になっちゃう
amazing
の
work
ね。
that you do.
向こうに行きましょうか。ようこそオールドシャーレヤンへ。
お抱えの傭兵とくれば報酬は弾んでもらえそうだな。
あれはそっちが言葉に詰まるからで
It's
しょ。
time to nag Estinian. Alright, we made it to Charlian. I'm glad I spotted your ship coming into port. The officers are born bureaucrats and sticklers for detail. In any case, you may relax and take a moment to get your land legs back. Love the background music in the city. It's really good, May. It's really good. Sometimes I sing along with it. I had thought to launch directly into an explanation of what I've learned and how we might proceed. But this is Butters and Estinian's first time in Charlian, right? And for the rest of you, a homecoming that was long overdue. You must have places you wish to visit and people you're dying to see. Therefore, I propose we postpone our agendas so that you all may have sufficient time to recover from your journey and get your bearings in the city. Once you've settled in, we can reconvene at the Baldessian Annex. How does that sound? It is a fine suggestion. We might not be welcome at the Levier estate as such, but I should like to know around the neighborhood all the same. I am equally untethered, as it were. There is no particular place that my kin call home. Still, I would not pass up the opportunity to reacquaint myself with the city. Likewise, a quick tour of our old haunts might even yield some useful gossip. The annex was west of the Aetherite Plaza, wasn't it? I shall join you there anon. Yes, we'll see you there. I, too, have places I would be remiss in not visiting Forthworth. By thy leave. What of you, Estinian? My services as a guide are yours for the asking. That won't be necessary. Until we reconvene, I prefer to wander as the wind takes me.
But I could... Oh.
Well, Raha, would you like to join us then? You've been gone for quite a while, and this would be the perfect way to refresh those dusty old memories of yours. Oh, of course, if you will have me. Come, Butters. Charlian awaits. You want to learn more songs from these games. You've been learning more stuff on guitar, trying to learn some piano. Did you get the guitar chord, or you did get the guitar chord progression for the Endwalker theme down? Nice. That's awesome, May. And oh yeah, for sure. This place is one to truly inspire music, creativity, and learning. Oh, Anomaly Stratic, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the squad. It's nice to have you with us. Welcome in, new friend. Welcome in. Speaking of which, while I'm here, actually, I should... You didn't want to interrupt cutscenes? Oh, no, you're good, I appreciate it. I appreciate you letting me know. Actually, while I'm here, I should fix something. Well, should I? Okay, so, while we're at the spot, I want to let you guys know of the Endwalkathon goals, which is a follower marathon, since I'm not here for... It's not a subathon. I'm not here for subscribers. I stream for fun. So, during the entirety of the New Game Plus Endwalker, we'll be doing a Endwalkathon. For every goal met, something will happen. If you guys are curious about that, feel free to check out the Twitter post. As of right now, we are 3 away from the first minor little thing, which means, so to explain to anyone new here, reduce bear price. This means I'm gonna reduce the price of how much it costs to throw bears at my face. The reason I made this one very minor is because we were already almost there. So... yeah, I'm sorry in advance. After you, my friend. I am more than content to follow your lead. Graha is now accompanying you. Keep him at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. In the event you use the Aethernet, Grahatia will catch up to you so long as you remain in the same area. You could leave Grahatia behind. However, by entering a different area, you may also speak to him and select the option to part ways. If you wish to have Grahatia accompany you again and speak with him return and speak with him at the original location. While Graha's accompanying you, next try speaking with Cryo. I have acquired a cat boy. All set? Then let's be on our way. Our first stop, amusingly enough, will be the last stand. It's a cafe on the west side of the harbor. Carl is also now accompanying you. Lead them to the last stand and speak with Carl at the location. You may encounter conversation points along the way. Bonus convos. Recently learned the arpeggios for a prelude, and that was super fun. Hey, nice. With all the unusual wares coming and going at all hours, I expect the assistance of an interpret adventurer would be highly appreciated. I see no reason why you couldn't undertake any tasks which pique your interest. You have been cleared by the immigration officials after all. I look forward to the day your name is celebrated in Charlie in the same way it is in Eorzea. This place is called the Peristyle, and it is the first stop for cargo unloaded at the docks. You'll find the usual necessities for daily living and other imports vital to running an island nation, but also supplies that further Charlene's pursuit of knowledge, namely large quantities of books, specimens, and samples. Sorting these stacks certainly seems to keep the attendants busy. I that's the one thing I realize is gonna be longer with this expansion. I could do the extra little conversation spots, and I'm going to do it because it's still relevant. Let's talk about the phallic statue. Now that is a sight one could hardly forget, the great statue of Taliac, or Thaliac. As a student of Baldessian, I was usually quartered on the Idle Val, but I would gaze upon the scholar's wise features every time I returned by ship to the city. And there we go. You just heard phallic statue. It was like, I don't remember that part of the MSQ. No. Phallic. Phallic. This path leading out towards the sea is known as the Phallic Stela, so named for the statue of the scholar which stands at its end. As you know, the Charlian people prize the accumulation of wisdom above all else. Thus, when Thaliac was chosen as our patron deity, it was more a matter of pragmatism than belief, an alignment of principles, as it were. We may have honored him with a rather impressive sculpture, yes, but our faith is not so restrictive as that of, say, the Ishgardians. Individual Charlians can and do worship the divinities of their choosing. Phallic. Close enough for the joke. No! Why? And here we are, the last stand. I may have mentioned this before, but although our research into nutrition and food preparation is quite extensive, the average Charlian tends to regard seasoning and flavor with a certain indifference. How can I put this? The food is, it's bland. And as encapsulated by our infamous Archon loaf, the prevailing sentiment towards cuisine is dietary value first, and taste a distant second. There was one pupil at the studium, however, who could stomach the school's insipid meals no longer, so he quit his lessons and poured all his savings into building a proper eatery. And so the last stand came to be. It is, as the name implies, the sole dedicated outpost of fine dining in Charlian, the one and only bastion of the culinary arts in an isle of otherwise mediocre fare. I seem to recall their burger being hailed as one of the more impressive items on the menu, not that I ever had the pleasure of eating one myself. Because you were a typical Charlian when it came to cheap and convenient, Raha, but surely Tataru has since taught you how to appreciate a well-prepared dish. We should all stop in when time permits and sample the cafe's delights. Shall we press on? The stairs to the side of the cafe there will take us up to the Aetherite Plaza. Because it gives no meaning to the whole... Oh my gosh, no! Please, safe for work, safe for work! Ah! An unusual shape, isn't it? I assure you, however, that it is a perfectly functioning aetheryte. Remember to attune yourself before we move on. Now, being the diligent tour guide that I am, I should make mention of the Confluence, a research facility located on this very plaza. Its much vaunted discoveries are the reason Charlene stands at the forefront of teleportation technology. In deciphering the underlying principles of Allegan aetherites, it allowed us to understand and reconstruct what was essentially a lost art. And off we go to our next destination. Our path leads northeast to the Agora, Charlene's largest marketplace. But what's over here, then? The confluence. Speaking of Aetherites, those teleportation fees do add up after a while, which is why I tended to rely on the far cheaper ferry services. I was pleasantly surprised when Mistress Tataru informed me that the Scions are reimbursed for transportation costs as part of our duties, but I find old habits hard to break. That, and I'd rather not be bothering filling out the necessary paperwork. Wow, Graha! That's the entrance to the confluence. I have no doubt their expertise will prove useful at some point, so I suggest you remember the way here. You're late? I thought my stream would start at 11. No, I'm sorry. Also, welcome to the stream, Nox. How are you doing today? Welcome in, and... Let's not go to that guy right now. Okay. Moving on. We're heading to the market. It's over here. Books. Do you mind if I browse the shelves for a moment? There might be some hidden gems I've yet to read. Only a moment? How optimistic. Feel free to browse all you like, but we won't wait around for you. Perhaps I'll return here later then. These little open-air book stalls are so uniquely Charlean. I'd always thought them a common sight until I visited our nation, or visited other nations. Books. Oh yeah, because now it's 3 o'clock Central. I think you were thinking about Eastern time? Welcome to the Agora, where you could find wares made in Charlean, as well as a wide selection of imported goods. They also used to sell questionable prototypes from the various research institutes, but I think that practice has thankfully died out, for the most part. Otherwise, I could think of no better place to stock up for your next big adventure. Am I overselling it? On a more serious note, the next stop on our tour is one which has particular relevance to our ultimate purpose here. We must head back to the Aetherite Plaza, follow the path north, then climb the stairs up to that imposing building at the very top. We gotta go to the very imposing building. Oh lord. Here we go. The NPCs will be fine. We're gonna make a jump! Leap of faith! We made it! Water. These little decorative features are typical of Charlean architecture. Aside from the research wing, our headquarters on the Isle of Val were rather simple and rustic by comparison. This is the Nymphium? Nymphium. An area dedicated to the blessings of water. For Charleans, water represents more than a life-sustaining liquid. It is a reminder of the great flood which precipitated the birth of our nation, as well as a symbol of the knowledge which flows from Thalic's divine Ewer. This is the reason you see an abundance of fountains throughout the city, and a propensity for utilizing water as a decorative feature in our architecture. Trying to say Thalic is unintentionally sounding like something I don't want to say. But it's not Talic. That sounds wrong. Even more wrong. Time to prep some water. Water time. This grand structure before you is the Rostra. The name refers to the original public platform erected here, upon which a forum of elected representatives would deliver orations and debate policy. Although the stage has since evolved into council chambers, the nature of the forum and the duties of its members remain largely unchanged. Am I boring you, Raha? You seem awfully distracted. My apologies. From here, one could see the entire city spread out below. The Vista put me in mind of my arrival in the first. those who have gathered at the Crystal Tower asked me how they might go about building a new home. Naturally, my answers were all inspired by my knowledge of the finest settlement I could think of, the great city of Charlene. And bit by bit, those few buildings grew into a town, a community, the Crystarium. I can almost see its echo. I see. Feel free to come up here whenever you wish. I don't think the counselors would object to you simply enjoying the view. Such memories should be treasured. For now, however, the tour must go on. Our spectacle of sightseeing concludes with the fittingly named Journey's End. Walk down the stairs to the east and continue straight ahead. Aw. Thank you for the self-care package, Kieran. I appreciate it. Arigato. Are you leveled from Exploration EXP? That's still good, Nox. Congrats on the level up. Let me stop on this bridge real quick. Let me get some water. But yeah, I do hope your day is going well today, Kieran. And also, I'm sorry if my stream layout has seemed a little strange today. It's because I have a new computer desk and I now have a new layout for when I stream. So, the tablet I use to check the chat is now to the left of me, but to my VTuber, it's to the right. I'm just getting a proper stretch out of my chair, and then I will take a bite of this burrito. Even if it bugs my VTuber out, there's not much else I can do about my arrangement right now. Oh man. Didn't realize some of my... Because I have breakfast burritos right now, but I didn't realize I was making a mess. Just stepped in a little bit of egg. No one likes stepping in food on the ground. That's just gross. Lesson of the day. Lesson of the day. If you're that kind of person who spits out gum and lets it fall to the ground, how dare you? Wrap it up in some paper. Wrap up your stuff in proper paper and throw it out. Nobody likes gum on the road. What? Butters is no longer looking down or down left to look at chat. Unacceptable. To be fair, Nox, my old desk was more wide, not long. So I could have my tablet in front of my keyboard, but I can't do that anymore or else I'm extremely obscured from the keyboard. Which we don't want. We've arrived at Journey's End. History tells us that this was where those who put ashore with Archon Nunkreb built their first homes. In the present day, it serves as the residential district for the most important officials and the oldest Charlian families. You'll see that one mansion is clearly larger than its neighbors. That estate belongs to our friends from House Livier. All things considered, we should probably keep our distance for the time being. And with that, we bring our little Charlian tour to a close. I hope it has proven to be an entertaining and enlightening experience. Now, shall we head directly to the Baldessian Annex? You remember the way, don't you, Raha? Let me think. We head down towards the harbor, cross the bridge to our right, then follow the path below the Aetheroid Plaza? Correct. After you, Butters. You do it until you find a dumpster when you have gum? Yeah. Though if you still have the wrapper, definitely put it in the wrapper, then throw it out. Always put trash in the trash can. Recyclables in the recycling can, if there is one. Good angle in which you look at chat is a key part of the stream experience. You were of course joking. Oh, I know. I know. But I'm also wondering if you guys have felt off with my new positioning and layout of stuff today. Like, does my avatar look off? Anything of that sort. And okay, I know I said I'm avoiding this character, but logistically, in my head canon, let me just explain. Let me explain for you guys. I'm gonna go screen lock mode. So, that man over there fits the description of how I technically characterize my characters, like my 14 characters' father out to be. Because she was adopted and brought to Charlian by a man who studies myth, like mythic creatures and stuff like that. At this point in the story, he would be a bit like of an old man type. And his big thing and how he found her was he had traveled off to Yangxia on an off trip to study myth. But you know it fits really well when you have an old man Ellison that you could just, when you talk to him normally, he brings up the A ranks and S ranks and all that stuff, like the more mythic creature hunts. Which is what's more ironic, and the moment I found that out, it's like, well shoot, I guess I need to wear a hat or hide my ears every single time I'm near that NPC as like more of a joke. Anyway, I'm moving on. Now I'm just rambling too much about my character's lore. As the joyous look on Raha's face has undoubtedly informed you, this is the Baldician Annex. If you continue up the hill, you'll arrive on the doorstep of Phenomenon, but I think we've explored enough for one day. We could take you there another time. Inside with you then. Don't you push me inside that building. Oh lord, I'm being pushed. I'm back, and I've brought Butters and Raha with me. Ah, you were right about the ship. Or about the ship then. Hello, Graha. It's nice to see you again. And it's a pleasure to finally meet you, Butters. I've heard many a tale of your exploits. Ojika? Ojika Sunjika? It has been an age. Allow me to introduce Ojika, a cousin of Ishika Sunjika. Oh gosh, saying it out loud is funnier to me. Ishika Sunjika, an administration officer for the students of Baldecian. He oversees the day-to-day business of the annex. I read the reports on the Eureka expedition. I hope Ajika didn't cause you too much trouble. He's impatient and impetuous, but a good sort at heart. This place is like a second home for the students. The Isle of Val served as our main headquarters, of course, but we often had an occasion to visit Charlian. Whether to make use of the city's research facilities, attend conferences, or procure supplies from distant shores. And the annex here was built to provide lodgings for our members while we engaged in such activities. Now that our former headquarters is on the wrong side of the world, among other things, the annex has become our new base of operations, for all intents and purposes. And yet it feels so empty, with so many lost to us. Our organization is a shell of its former self. The day will come when we will see the students rise again. But first, we must ensure that the Telefori fall. Through that door on the left there is the main hall, where we can discuss our options moving forward. Once everyone arrives, that is, you probably have time to rest before our discussion begin in earnest. I've had private quarters prepared for you in the Andron, so please feel free to make yourself at home. Ah, the nap rooms, perfect for an afternoon daze. Oh, I didn't mean to give you the wrong impression. The chambers are quite well appointed, far more so than some cheap roadside inn, you may be assured. 'Twas simply that we were often so busy with research or exhausted from journeys abroad that we would slip into the Arandron just to steal a few winks. And thus they became known among the students as nap rooms, even if many such naps might last well into the following morning. Say the word and I'll be happy to show you to your chamber. Hopefully the others won't be too long in coming. I'll wait for you all in the main hall. Well, you just arrived, you didn't notice anything when you entered? Ah, okay. I don't know, minor spoilers, you haven't finished Eureka. You didn't mind experience asserting yourself is more important to you. That's fair. If it helps, I don't clearly remember when that part of the Eureka storyline is, but if you do like the Eureka storyline, I definitely suggest doing Eureka. It's definitely worth it, though nowadays there's not a boatload of people there, but there's still enough that do the content for their relics, or just to get it cleared so they can do Baldessian's or BA, Bardessian Arsenal. I think that's what it was called. So you're slightly about halfway or half through. Nice. So you're in Pagos, right? Eureka Pagos, Nox. Welcome back, Butters. Ready for a nap? I retired to my room. Clean sheets and warm blankets await. Rest as long as you like. Oh, you're in the third one. Oh, you're in Pyros then. You're in Pyros because there's only 4, so you're about halfway through. And this is still a really nice room, let's be honest. It's such a nice room. You know, I constantly forget about the toy chest, and I have not used it in so long. But yeah, really nice room. It's one of the best in rooms. It really is. It's got a lot of life in it. Graha, we can talk later. Don't talk about my silly hat. This thing looks like I'm wearing a bag over my head. No one in Charlie knows I'm a fox. Even if anyone recognized myself as a little child, or before leaving Charlian to become a warrior of light / white mage, they wouldn't recognize me now. I'm like almost a 100% different person. With no tail. Okay, exactly, you're right. I'm a fox girl with no tail. Half here, half fox. Does that help at all? Who knows? Feeling refreshed and alert? Our colleagues should be wandering in soon, so I suggest we stay here and wait for them to join us. Oh yeah, also like, to be completely fair right now, with this hat on, my character's ears are just muffled slightly because it's like all the hearing is in her fox ears at this point. So it's muffled, her head is irritated, it's very sensitive. Like, God, get this hat off, I need to scratch my head. Get this hat off me.
それじゃあひとまず私から話をさせてもらおうかしら。私たちの目標はテロフォロイの陰謀を阻止すること。それにつながる情報が得られそうな手段として現状2つの調査があるの。1つ目、これはみんなも知ってるシャーレアンの異変。哲学者議会が不可解な動きをしているって件ね。あの議会は国民から選ばれた99人の議員からなるんだけど、それだけいれば外交についての考え方も当然いろいろあるわ。例えばライブラリアンと呼ばれる一派は歴史の記録者に徹することを重要視して徹底的な不干渉を進めている。一方で他国との協力に前向きな議員もいるわ。ルイゾワ様やうちのガラフおじいちゃんに近い考え方ね。ただ今回エオルゼアからの要請を断った件については派閥も主張も関係なくみんな協力できないの一点張り。気になったのはその中に今は他にすべきことがあるという口ぶりの人が少なからずいたことよ。
Cryle, you are using big words.
古篠さんの言葉もそうだった。まるで終末ってものを理解した上で別の行動を選んでいるかのような。
そこを私だけじゃなくみんなの力を借りて調べたい。それが一つ目の調査ね。 2つ目はつい先日バルデシオン委員会に届いたある依頼に関する話なの。そもそもうちは世界各地にある未解明なものを研究する組織よ。異物や異光、魔法なんかをね。だからこそ排他的になりがちなシャーレアンの組織の中でも外とのつながりが特に強い。各地に共同研究者や協力者がいるの。
Well, in that case, I guess Butters is glad she doesn't have a tail to try and hide. Yeah, that's the most beneficial part of all this, because she doesn't have a tail.
錬金術師のニッターナ。どうやらあちらにも塔が出現して異形の万神が呼び出されているみたいなの。
And also, the Krall outfit from the Mog Station isn't dyeable,
サベ
right?
ネア島を療養するラザハン。その長にあたる大主の指示のもと、錬金術師たちが塔
Give me a
の攻
moment.
略法を探しているそうよ。
Because if I remember, the headpiece is dyeable, Nox. But it's for the hair color. That's it. The outfit itself isn't dyeable.
塔についてエオルゼアや東方にはなかった見識もあるいは得ているやもしれません。
実際何か方策があるみたい。その研究のためにできるだけ戦闘に長けた光の加護を持つ人を紹介してほしいという依頼だったわ。
となると手分けをするとしたらあなたにはサベネア島へ行ってもらうべきかしら。
Oh, off to Thavnair?
週末に関わることだからシャーレアンの調査にも加わってほしいところだけれど。
But why not both?
そうなのよね。忙しくさせちゃって申し訳ないけれど、あなたにはどちらにも手を貸してもらえると嬉しいわ。順番はお任せするから。
Because you guess technically Butters could wear Krall's hoodie and just refuse to take it off.
決めておくわね。シャーレアンの調査については引き続き私が。それから賢人を持っている人の協力が欲しいの。
閲覧できる資料を増やしたいということね。いいわ、私が協力する。
そういうことなら俺も調べ物ならそれなりに力になれそうだしな。
よければ私とアリゼもそちらに加えてもらえないだろうか。
お父様や哲学者議会が何を考えてるのか少しでも知りたいの。もちろんよ。ぜひ二人の力を貸して。
なら残りのメンツでサベネア島の様子を見てくるとするか。お前もそれで構わないか。
ああ、サベネア島なら帝国に潜入した時に経由したからな。案内できるほどじゃないが多少は土地勘がある。
そいつは頼もしい。ならこっちは俺とお前、それにウリエンジェで決まりだな。
It's the guys group.
じゃあ依頼の詳細をまとめたものをこの後サンクレットさんに渡すわね。それぞれの調査が終わったらまたこのメインホールに集合しましょう。お互いに収穫があることを願ってるわ。
You thought of something funny, but you'll hold off. Fair enough, Nox. Fair enough. And but the thing is, if Kryle's hoodie, if we're going like, yeah, Kryle, can I borrow your hoodie? Then it's a no, that is not gonna fit. Also, I don't remember if the Mog Station outfit is a I don't remember if it's an outfit that's one piece or two pieces, but regardless, it would look very strange. And yes, I may like wearing yellow, but there's a difference between a little yellow versus everything being yellow. Also, hey Piero, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Welcome in, friend. Think it's one piece? Yeah, if it's one piece, I'd rather not. And the hood on its own would just be strange. This is why I have my weird hat. I think if I remember, I went in order. Like, since we're here, we do with this first. Because I don't think you can grab both at the same time, but if I can, I will. It's been a bit. An unsettling change has come over Charlian, but together we will divine the underlying cause for the form's callousness. As I mentioned before, however, questioning the counselors directly is a fruitless endeavor. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge. Which is why I began scouring Charlene's archive of historical records for any hint of a connection to the final days. Suffice it to say that progress has been slow. There are only so many dusty pages one could skim in a day, but now I have this band of willing reinforcements. The search should proceed all the swifter. Let's reconvene outside Numenon, shall we? Exit the annex to the right, and you'll find the archives on the western edge of the woods. Yeah, you can't do more than one MSQ in New Game Plus. Normally, if you're not doing New Game Plus, you can grab both at the same time. But this is New Game Plus, so we can only do one at a time. Which is fair, but the reason I like the two at a time, like grabbing both at the same time, is that I can have it in my pocket for when it's done, I could just go straight to the next thing. But, yeah. I know you said bribes are bad, but how about Final Fantasy XIV MSQ campaign progression donation? Huh? You're gonna have to describe to me what that means, Piero. But what does it mean? Give your friends the gear from the next patch for a follow. No! No bribes. Don't bribe with gear. I was gonna say, in a case of if you know anybody that may be interested in just seeing what's going on, let them know. It's like, oh yeah, Butters is, they're going through Endwalker. Do you guys like Endwalker? They're doing an Endwalkathon. It's not technically a bribe. Donation. No, it's like, if anyone's gonna follow me, I want you guys to enjoy what I'm doing. Like, actually like the content. I want you to enjoy being in the environment. Not just because someone told you, follow me because follow me. I guess if that makes sense. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. In any case, you stand now before the doors of Nomenon, Charlian's greatest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only an entrance, and one of many at that, for the archives of Nomenon extend deep beneath the surface like the roots of a tree. The vast halls of the Great Google Library pale in comparison to Numenon's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen of Charlian is free to enter and peruse its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only Archons are afforded access to certain restricted vaults. I have dispatched Jishchola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alice and Alphina will help me continue my search through the stacks open to the general public. Your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you are only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which touch upon Charlian history or foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you, a working knowledge of those subjects will make it far easier to spot the sort of clues we're looking for. Or spot, sorry. Well, let us be about it, shall we? I have told the others to meet us at the stone benches, over there, once they've found some promising tombs. Happy reading! Doggo treats are more expensive. Yeah, I made them just a little more expensive, but I will probably change the price back once I actually reopen the redeem because we still don't have any. We haven't bought more yet. The title on the spine reads The Story of Charlian. Read the book. I read the book. Long, long ago, on an island in the northern sea, there lived a Rogadan man by the name of Neonkremp. Neonkremp was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for that imperiled realm. The flood arrived as foretold, and to their horror, the strangely churning waters drove the people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that Neonkremp's crew hauled them aboard his ark, but the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. With only moments to spare, Neonkremp wove a mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship to safety atop Albathia's spine. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled there alongside them, but it was not long before disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Saddened by the sight, Neonkremp gathered to him his crew and his grateful passengers, and abandoned the ark to those Redan's peaks. They journeyed to the coast where they built a new ship, intent upon returning to the northern seas. They landed on the beach of an island and settled upon that very spot. The settlement prospered and grew, and in time it became the city of Charlian we live in to this day. This one reads, Roads of Old, the Colony. Many years ago, on the banks of the Thalic in the Dravanian Hitherlands, a Charlian colony once thrived. This settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the Ethereal Sea in the year 1311 of the 6th Astral Era. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and their demands encouraged a gradual expansion in structures and services. As rumors spread of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with Eorzean students, hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Charlians. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognize what had become a flourishing town as an official Charlian colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the colony itself Charlian, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned to the subject of the motherland. In response, some Charlian inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would simply refer to it as Emporium. Following the exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it yet another name, Idleshire. The following chapters go on to introduce the most prominent features of Idleshire. This book doesn't appear to contain additional info on the forum or cover the history of Charlian Motherland in great detail. I guess we'll look specifically for the Charlian ones, but I think there's 3 more books. An Introduction to the Heavens. Okay. Forever 20 Summers. If you guys want me to read every single book, I can. Stewards of Wisdom, yes. During the chaos of the 6th Umbral Calamity, Archon Neonkremp, founder of Charlian, bore witness to the madness and savagery of men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in the northern Empty, he instructed his people thus: Renounce the ways of war, and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Charlians took to heart the words of their savior, and then henceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland unlike any other, A nation born from strength of minds rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth in coin, and the more their wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was that no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, the citizens of Charlene would live by their founders' teachings. For the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star, they would eschew the tools of war and with knowledge deliver the world. I feel like this has to be a joke book, but I don't think anybody wants me to read Forever 20 Summers, right? We don't need to read that one. That's not a book we're looking for. Totally not. You're intrigued? So am I, Night Fighter. So am I. But how are you doing today? Welcome to the stream. Help me think you're addicted to Honkai Star Rail. Oh no. Welcome to the addiction train, Kieran. Welcome to the addiction train. Oh boy. Just remember to take breathers from the game, and if you're worried about anything, just focus on the dailies to get your stellar gems, that's all. What if it contains saucy gossip? I don't know, Nox. You guys want me to read the book? Also, hey yo, hope you're doing amazing. Same to you, Night Fighter. Hope you're having a nice day today. Mine's going well. Thank you so much for asking. Oh lord, the hiccups have begun. Day is interesting, but little pissed that you slept through alarms to do aberrant before work. Oh goodness. Understood. Deep breaths, and you've got this. Hopefully you're able to do that later. If you got Honkai... Dang it, my throat's getting clogged from drinking water and eating my burrito. Sorry. If I got Honkai, there's no way you could resist pulling on the gacha. You love seeing random things open, which is why you avoid it. Yeah, no, that is 100% fair, Nox. Gacha games are definitely a bit addicting. Well, I guess we're reading 20 Summers. My beloved seekers of knowledge, have you ever put learning before your health and neglected to feed and rest your body as you should? I, too, once engaged in such foolish practices, but one night, engrossed in philosophical study, I had an epiphany. For all the world's mysteries that drive us to reckless abandon, we have so very few years of life in which to achieve our goals. Thus do I share with you this mantra. I am forever 20 summers young. The number itself is unimportant. You could be 19 or 23 or 40, whatever age you are. When you discover this manual, let that be the age you aspire to remain. Through mindful, healthy living, you will extend the time available to spend upon your chosen research. Another day, another moon, another summer to grasp the greater truths you pursue. In the pages that follow, we will explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, aetherological, and arcane viewpoint. This is on the wrong subject. You know, the next day, because work hours cover most of their open hours because of second shift. Ah, okay. Understood. Alright, an introduction to the heavens. Last book. Have you ever gazed at the skies above and contemplated the mysteries contained therein? I speak not of shifting cloud patterns, but of the vastness beyond of the sun. or beyond of the sun and the twinkling tapestry of the night. Some think the dome above us to be a finite space, yet amongst the leading thinkers of our age, one scholar's depiction of a boundless sea of stars has firmly taken root. Alas, this heavenly sea remains an unreachable, unknowable destination. There are few indeed who can explain, in satisfactory detail, why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. It was the technologists of Alag who came closest to understanding the laws which govern that starry abyss. It was they who launched Dalamud and sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence. Having read of their ancient ambitions, I wonder, has your interest in this field of study waxed or waned? What if I were to tell you that the ethereal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past? That their positions continue to shift almost imperceptibly but measurably as we journey into the future? Would it shock you to learn that the stars drift further and further apart and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? This is still the wrong subject. Is there a book I'm missing? Have I read every book except the last one I need to find? Is it this one? A Voice of a Growing City. Okay. At this point, we've read every book. In the years which followed the founding of Charlian, civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the Excelsia, a public forum at which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's population grew, however, this format became increasingly impractical. A larger number of participants gave rise to ever longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in an attempt to curtail protracted discussions, but in the year 201 of the 6th Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Charlian would transition to a new form of governance. The nation would now be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of a nationwide vote. Thus was the Forum, as we know it today, conceived and created. I have gained a fundamental understanding of Charlian history and the foundation of the Forum. I'm totally not falling asleep to it. Head outside to rendezvous. I grabbed more books than I needed to. Don't judge me. BRB, you're gonna make some food, Piero? Yeah, no worries. Go get some foods. There's a lot more dictionary family to try to avoid most common sources. That is a good way to do it for sure. If there's a source of addiction, try to cut it off if you do not wish to indulge. Alright. Sorry, were you waiting long? I wanted to make sure I'd borrowed at least a few promising volumes. Alphino and Cryles should be along shortly. I was delayed in similar fashion. As far as I could see, no titles in the Archon stacks mention the final day specifically, so we have no choice but to start with the tangentially relevant tomes, if they are even that. At present, the plan is to skim through as quickly as we dare, and share our discoveries as we make them. You always grab all the books when you're doing 14 because it's fun to see the lore. This is true, Nightfight. This is true. I mean, have you read the books, I think, in Great Google Library for The Boy and the Dragon Gay? Yes, that's what the book's called. And understandable you'd yawn out since you're in a library. I'm sorry, Cap. Wow. Also, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Welcome in, friend. Can't completely avoid it, though. You have to self deal with your gaming and sugar addiction. That is valid. That is fair. Oh, also it's nighttime in Charlie, and no wonder the yawning. Snorts like a 12-year-old at the mention of the book. Look, I'm not the one that wrote The Boy and the Dragon Gay. That was somebody in Ishgard. Or Idleshire. It's one of those. At present, the plan is skim through as quickly as we dare. I read that already. It would have been nice to invite everyone to the estate. Plenty of comfortable places to read, and a ready supply of hot tea. Oh, I was always quite fond of reading outside. But it's not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home. It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things were. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I were to return to Charlian, we were not to be allowed access or allowed across the threshold. A harsh measure indeed. I hope that our efforts to understand his position and that of the Forum will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. We'll mend this rift one day. I'm certain of it. And what of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family, or do they not live here in the city? Ah, well, my situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Charlian, yes, but I was born rather further away. In the southern reaches of Ilzabard, in fact. For generations, my people have dwelt in Corvos, a coastal region opposite the island of Thavnir. The Alligans founded a city in that fertile land, and by ship brought in the subjugated tribes of the Makota as serve as laborers. Of course, the massive earthquakes of the fourth umbral calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign, and when the fifth calamity froze the seas solid, many other tribes still living in Corvos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain, that they might prevent the remnants of Allagan technology from being misused. Isn't Corvos under Guardian rule? For the past 50 years, yes, some semblance of local culture remains, as is the case for most imperial provinces. But Garlemald renamed the region Locus Amonis. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Allagan civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices had been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Allagan Eye no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and traditions of Alak. As the last child born with the Allagan Eye, I was given over to the custody of friends and the students of Baldessian, who had me registered as a Charling citizen. I never even considered. Forgive me, it was an unkind question. Even Thancred was taken in by Archon Louis Sois, was he not? Stories of adopted waifs and rescued orphans are more common among Charlians than you might think. Yet, regardless of our origins, we are all provided with an equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient perspicacity, we outsiders can even earn the vaunted title of Archon. 'Tis exactly why I have such love for this country, and why I wish it to remain a nation of which its citizens can be proud. Hear, hear! Another good reason to get to the bottom of the Forum's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books, Butters. More company should be arriving any moment now. Oh, you haven't because you keep getting pulled away during dungeons. Oh, okay. Ever get to check in with Explorer mode? Yeah, I've been checking Explorer mode whenever we get to those spots. There are others better suited to poring over old history books, so I thought I'd try my luck with more recent events, if I could find anything to better inform the Forum's baffling behavior. What else do I know about Corvos? Precious little, I'm afraid. I have not returned since Master Gala first brought me here. I could tell you that Corvosi rebels still seek to slip the yoke of the Imperial Masters, though the fighting is far less fierce than it once was. Oh, and they have carpets! Flying carpets! The legends are quite extraordinary. Well, that's where that comes from then. That's where the carpets come from. I'll let you guys read your books. We've returned with our selections. Although I must say, the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mistress Cryle has already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we will be looking into research papers on the umbral calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I'm the only one here who didn't witness the events of Amarot firsthand, and fear I may be overlooking critical details. It is time for the story of Amarot. My thanks. Now, where to begin? First things first, what kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days drew nigh? A complete destabilization of creation magics. Yes, the unfolding catastrophe wrought havoc on all manner of life. The chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing their powers of creation to spiral out of control. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. You love moments when you forgot the cursor on the screen isn't a piece of styrofoam that got stuck to the monitor. This is the cursor, not a piece of styrofoam. I'll just move that. uh, that more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the arts of creation had survived until the present day, we might have had something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Y'shtola surmises that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals prom- prom- promulgate- promulgated by the Asians. I'm sorry, words are eluding me today. There's so many big words! Charlene, why must you give me headache? I must not remember. Was there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? Alphino, you can answer this one. They say it began with a keening sound from the land itself. Ah, yes, the Emiratians spoke of it, didn't they? We never did hear the sound ourselves, of course, thrust as we were into the midst of the madness. But it seems that each and every one of the catastrophes was preceded by this ominous noise. Eventually it resounded all across the star, and not even Amarot was spared. So the ground was crying out, you say? To be considered the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive and probably loud. I'll have to speak with one of Nomenon's mammoths and ask after any books which might mention such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive actions did they take? They summoned Zodiark. Yes, with Elidibus serving as his heart, so many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiark brought salvation to the star, only that by his godlike will were the laws of nature set aright. Then, once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Lives sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls that they intended to render unto Zodiac, a trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have had Vanat and her followers and her fellows not manifested their opposition in the form of Hydaelyn. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in my understanding of events. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telephori truly meant when they speak of bringing back the final days. We've seen what they're doing with those towers of theirs. It's forcing people to summon primals as a kind of catalyst. Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech? A convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash. But this is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return our attention to the forum, shall we? We should keep an eye out for Y'shtola, but 'tis time we began studying these research papers. It's all good. You mix a lot of stuff up on the screens. It's okay. What's of your books, Alfie? Let's just sit down real quick. Many forum members are also researchers or professors. If they know aught of the final days, then that knowledge might surface in their writing. That is my hope anyway. Also, oh god, my brain died for a second. Piero, thank you so much for the food check, hydrate, and stretch break. I really do appreciate it. Or self-care package in a longer sense. Arigato. You can't sit down and talk to characters. No, you can't, Nox. No, you can't. The sky burned. The waters ran with blood. Human sacrifices. Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria. There's my hydrate. I could finish my burrito on stretch break. You forgot to turn your oven on, so now you wait. Ah, okie dokie, yeah. If you're gonna set up the oven for foods. Oh, by the way, I have a little ask of you guys. I updated one of the redeems, or I updated two of them. One of them was done earlier, but the other one hasn't been triggered yet. If you could figure out which one it is. Trollfish! That's what that button does today. Thanks for finding out, Piero. But yeah, no, that one was triggered earlier. That was triggered earlier. Trollfish! The other one is a sound effect. However, I tried to do something with it. No, that one hasn't been updated, but thank you for passing the butter, Piero. I really appreciate it. That's very kind of you. I accept your friendship, Night Fighter. All the hugs.
Hail Messiah!
I am not the Messiah. Should I? I feel like I need to explain it. It involves butter.
Everyone knows it's butter.
That's me.
Ah! There you go, you got it. Yeah, there it is. That's the one I fixed. I tried to get them to connect in the redeem, but all it does is it makes the throwing one go twice. I love it. Like, yay! Okay, back to what's going on. Imagine we'll hit all the buttons to find it. Yeah. If you have the points, we're gonna select them all. Oh. Oh, that's understandable. That's fair. But you found the one I was talking about. You guys found the one I was talking about. Which was the like South Park voice clip. I just think it's funny. But alright, this would be a good time to take a stretch break, huh? Thank you again for the stretch break, Pierre. I do appreciate it. And if you guys haven't in a while, don't forget. Don't forget to take a stretch break yourself. Your body will thank you for it later. Get some water, get something to drink. If you haven't had food in a while, go get some food. This is the time, friends. This is the time. And though I'm still getting used to my new layout for tablet placement, I still know where the buttons on the thing are. So I will be right back. It is time for a stretch break, about 5 to 10 minutes. I finally updated it in the description of the stretch break. Because let's be honest, I'm never back after 5. But I'll be right back. It's time for, and I'm going to finish my food, I'm going to go put my stuff up. I'll be back. I am Mick. Food completely finished. Plates put away. We are good to go. We are good to continue. I could stop sitting next to the bean. He is reading. Cannot disturb while he's still on page 2. Big words. Oh, thank you, Piero. Thank you, thank you. I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stacks produced one of 2 possibly useful books, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Ryanje learned of the source's reflections from the Jirun oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, that tomb was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Grey Gooba Library. 'Tis even less likely that knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholars to find. It stands to reason, then, that my colleagues, be they archons or counselors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet when you confronted Master Folchenot with knowledge of the Telephori and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon us. Which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behavior, it is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mention of the final days or no, these books could yet hold something for value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. What? Come on! Yashula, come on! I wasn't gonna leave. It almost sounds like you're trying to make an excuse not to work. Pardon me. Pardon me. You labor for what feels like an age as Yashtola's research assistant. I don't want to be your research assistant. Oh dear, you look exhausted. But what about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subject I mentioned? Yeah, I found a few books. Then the day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a mammon at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for quite some time. Ready for a tea break, Butters? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. Hey, you know this would have been the perfect time for a stretch break, huh? You know the last stand down in the harbor, don't you? Come and meet me near the outside tables and I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. Oh Lord, coffee. You know, I've found knots of interest so far. I think Y'shtola might be right about not getting our hopes up. I just realized this is just 3 books, and my brain thought this was like multiple books. And I need that stretch break with Alice. Say that. Hi, back. I'm Night. Nice to see you, Night. I don't remember who brought it up, but just me and Alice both like sweets. Because Alice would sneak Butters around at points. It's like they'll just go off and go get some food together because of the worrying state of her weight, like Butters' weight. It's like, come on, we're gonna go get some food, and the only one that would be concerned is Alphino and the father. Alphino and the father, and the mother's just like, oh yeah, she needs food. As busy as ever, I see. How very Charlian that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Telefori. We might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think? Alice is now accompanying you. You could leave them behind by entering another area. I never found out what's in this box. I'm constantly wondering what's in this box. It might not even be a box. What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. You misunderstood, sir. We were simply wondering if you knew of the Telefori. These enemies of peace have promised an end to all we hold dear and... Wait, you're that House Levier girl, aren't you? And this woman with you is obviously a foreigner. I'd heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge their barbaric whims, and here you are giving truth to the rumor. I'll thank you to leave me be. I'm not to say to the likes of you. Well, I must apologize. 'Twas foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come, Butters. Yes, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Telefori and their unconscionable plans. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Levier! My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Fortunal that I was helping you... I see. We're sorry to have bothered you. You're welcome, madam. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mistress Alice I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. And meet... It's like how I don't like saying Hancock, which is like that one guy in Doma. But now we have to say Dickon. Or Dickon. I'm sorry. It's just a name. It's just a name. Okay. Moving on. It's just a name. Meet Dickon, the owner of the Last Stand. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion, in between lessons at the studium. That seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alpino had set sail for Eorzea, but then you never came back. Lately, there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything all right at home? It's complicated. I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Levier. No matter how discreet Master Fortunal may have been, news of your family's doings never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now of all times? We have questions, and only Charlian has the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days? What? Like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you're here to find? Information on this apocalypse? Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons appear to be unwilling to speak with me. I wish there was more I could do to help. But maybe there is. You're a visitor to Charlian, aren't you? Then few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server when none the wiser. We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're setting down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for. Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? Well, if it's the only answer. That's the spirit. Pay attention now, and I'll explain where each of these dishes need to go. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by the water's edge. The omelette is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisla. She's sitting at an outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them, you should see a Makote gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Got all that? If you're not sure, just ask and I'll explain again. Good luck. They might know a Richard. Oh my gosh. Why do I feel like the description for this quest is gonna be like... I believe this is the Highlander. No, this is a chatty group, it looks like. They wanted tea. Yeah, I think this is tea. Oh, my tea set! Lovely, thank you! The Telefor... Who? I'm sorry, I've never heard of them, or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you wanted to hear about ritual arcane practices of the Sixth Astral Era, common or esoteric, then I'd be happy to talk your ear off. This is... Oh, it literally tells you in which order. This is the one with the Highlander. You guys, get the omelet. Ah, finally! 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in, no time to waste! What? The Telefori? Ah, yes, I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. That and some grand claim about the end of days. Same old senseless warmongering. When will these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood? Best stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. Why do I... Look, there's only one table that could be the lobster at this point. You want lobster? I brought you lobster. At last, the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've skimped and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. The final days. This is the first I've heard of it. Although that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. It must be a busy time to be a gleaner. You don't know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of a sort. Travel the world procuring things that we haven't got here in Charlotte. Priceless books, unusual live specimens, and so forth. So named for those folk who trail after the reapers in the fields, picking up every grain which was missed. Aye, by all accounts, gleaning is a most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Telefori make good on their audacious threats, then the many uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy? Watch the harbor and you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the docks all day. It's never been this hectic before. Not like this. Lobster from the harbor yard. Here comes your lobster. You want some lobster? You could have some lobster. There is your lobster. Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking? Oh, I got to talking. Interesting. They seem unaware of the final days, aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Even Dickon has had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the Forum does have secret knowledge, then they've done an impressive job of ensuring no one whispers it in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here, a cup of coffee I promised. There's just better be a lot of milk in this. But let's enjoy our drinks somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle, away from the gossips and their wagging tongues. Must find good table. Where the heck go you over here? Nice benches. Yes, this should do nicely. Out of the wind and out of sight. But it's snowing. I would like some fresh snow in my coffee.
父様に感動を言い渡されたこと、別に冗談だと思ってたわけじゃないのよ。ただ実感はしてなかったのかも。あんな扱いを受けて今やっと身に染みてきたっていうか。シャーレアンに行こうって決めた時のこと覚えてる？ラハがただならない事態が起きてるからこそお父様はあんな突き放し方をしたのかもって。実際そうなのかもしれない。頭が固くておじい様とは何度も喧嘩してた人だけど、血を流すがいいだなんて決して言わなかったもの。でもね、戦うことが正しいのかって問いに答えられなかったのも本当。そのことでアルフィノは思い悩んでたけど、私は進んできた道を間違えたなんて思えなかった。だからただ怒って反発してる。そっちの方が立ち悪いわよね。少し見方を変えたら自分も頑固で独善的なのかもって後になってからふと気づいたの。あの時あの問いになんて答えたら自分もお父様も裏切らずにいられたんだろう。
Huh.
中に入ってったってことはラビリンソスへの搬入ね。
Labyrinthos, something I never learned about.
もうこの島の地下にある大きな施設のことよ。シャーレアンといえば世界中から知識を集めてるでしょ。それは何も紙や試験管に収まるものだけじゃないわ。動物や植物、さまざまな命ある資料を生きたまま保管研究する、それがラビリンソスってわけ。にしてもかなりの荷物だったわね。私が住んでた頃は船を使うような搬入自体めったに見なかったのに。ラストスタンドで聞き込みをしてくれた時、グリーナーの出入りが頻繁になってるって話があったのよね。さっきの船に乗ってたのも多分グリーナーだわ。それもラビリンソスに搬入を行える議会公認のグリーナー。彼らの動きが最近テロフォロイが現れた頃から活発になっているなら、そこに哲学者議会の思惑が隠れてるかも。
Something's going on in Labyrinthos. Something's going on. What's going on? Gonna find out. We should tell the others what we've learned about the Gleaners. Go on ahead, Normanon, and I'll join you in a moment. Master Dickon will want his cups back. Sorry, we took your cups. I wanted a souvenir, even if it just stays in Charlotte. Okay, I think this is the better way to ask this question. Has anybody in chat ever accidentally taken a cup from a restaurant home? Like a bar, a restaurant, any outside place? Like just by accident, on instinct, you're just going out with a cup, you leave, you put it in the car, and you're like, wait, this isn't my cup. But it's already too late, you've already grabbed it. Let's go with accidentally. Night Fighter, did you legitimately just take a cup from a place? I know it's one of the strangest questions to ask, but I was curious if it's a phenomenon that occurs or if it was just something I've witnessed in my life. It's tiny and adorable. Oh. Welcome back, Butters. Been for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the Gleaners. Was the size of a double shot glass? Oh my gosh. That does sound like a small and adorable cup. It makes sense. The Gleaners take their requests directly from institutions and bureaucrats, but as you say, they ultimately answer to the forum. A sudden and significant increase in Gleaner traffic and in cargo. It certainly gives the impression of an overarching plan of being put into motion. Hi, you just got to Endwalker yourself, Lovehawk? That's awesome! And welcome to Endwalker. If you'd like to join me along on your journey, if you're near this point, feel free, let me know. I'd love to journey alongside friends of the community. And wow. Hey Crow, welcome to the stream as well. How are you doing today? Welcome in, friend. But yeah, no, if anyone wants to stop by and say hi or come along with me on the journey through Endwalker, feel free to. We're over in the Aether Data Center on Midgar Somar. Your company is always appreciated. I don't know if we're gonna hit a dungeon today because of the time limit I'm setting for every stream. At least for this remainder, but we'll see. Hopefully we reach one. Let us see what theory we can build from the facts. As Ishtola observed earlier, Normanon's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Solest and Alice learned at the last stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Sharlians know nothing of that particular period of ancient history. Yet my father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, but are also somehow certain that the destruction being perpetuated by the Telephori is wholly unlike these apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. Okay, I'll hop over there? Heck yeah. Hopefully see you soon. And take your time. Oh, and speaking of which, to anyone in chat, if you have not done a story related to Endwalker yet, there are going to be a lot of spoilers ahead. If you'd like to join in along the journey, if you are on Endwalker, feel free to stop on by. I do not think it is a stretch to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activities are in service to the Forum's secretive ends. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves, and if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. What would we expect down there? Oh, I would hate to spoil the surprise. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I should like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. That would be a great help. Thank you, Raha. Let's head down the stairs over there, and I'll show you where the entrance is. You've done all of Endwalker on your main character. You just got your alt starting it finally? Ah, nice. I think that's the same for Nox, if I remember. Because Nox is also working on an alt, and they've also recently, I think, hit Endwalker as well. That is my assumption because of previous conversation. Go jump. Go. Ready? Labyrinthos is not too far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Follow Alice, try not to fall behind. Off we go then. Well, I guess we're walking. Ditto, you made a North America alt after years being in EU. Nice. But, oh yeah, random. It's pleasant here amongst the trees. But we really should move along. And now we run. Try to keep up. Keep to the path. Straight ahead. We cross this bridge. Up here. You don't have to stop for me, Alice. I'm getting memories of this place. Childhood memories. They were hard to remember. The rostra. Not far now. Oh, this way. Here we are. Through this door and down the stairs. You did remember to attune to the shard back there, didn't you? It will make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. It's like, oh yeah, if you're not thinking about it. Did you attune to the crystal yet? You better have. Oh yeah, to anyone who recently popped in and is curious about why I'm wearing a hat, the answer is it's Charlian. I don't want to wear the hat. I've not been to Labyrinthos in the longest time. Even as a student, my visits were few and far between. I see. We're all here now, yes? I've taken the liberty of securing permission for our group's descent. Right, everyone onto the lift, and down we go. This place is still somewhat creepy to me.
溢れた資料を床に積むものはどんな時代にも存在したが、この施設の考案者も確実にその口だろう。住めなくなれば別の場所へ、空きもなければ作ってしまえというわけだ。おそらく最初はそれだけのこと、それだけのことがすり替えられた。知識は黙々と積まれていく、まるで抜け出すことのできない迷宮を築くかのように。
I mean, I prefer this music for it versus the other one. The other one is way too eerie.
Oh. 驚いた？本物みたいな空だけど作り物よ。ここは正真正銘シャーレアン島の地下。感じる風も流れる水も。
When everything is handmade by man, it's very terrifying.
シャーレアン島は火山島。この空間は大昔の溶岩だまりだったのよ。それを400年ほど前に見つけて、資料や生態サンプルを保管する場所として改築してきた。深部は今なお拡張されていると聞くわ。
ねえ、あれグリーナーの人たちじゃない？
格好からしてそのようだね。彼らは単独行動している印象が強いが、 今日は随分集まっているようだ。君たちが予想した通り、いつもとは違った仕事をしているのかもしれないね。
早速手分けして話を聞いてみましょう。今私を呼んだかしら。
Huh? No, I didn't.
気のせい。昇降機で急に下がってきたからかしら。ごめんなさい。お互いに情報収集頑張りましょう。
It just feels so weird. I don't have to look down to see the chat anymore. I just have to look to my left. Look, it's Aaronville, everyone's favorite bunny boy. You here to help or give me more headaches? Because you don't have the look of a gleaner, and I'm in no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted that he took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. Now I have a pack of marmots running loose. Your exchange with Aaronville has taught you about exhausted gleaners. Let me think. The Rhea seeds should be item 1058. Cumin seeds, 1059. Snurbbleberry, 1060. Or were they 1061? My head feels like it's stuffed with moko grass. Why more loads to take out than carry in? Why do all this at once and risk mixing it up? What if someone mistakes the Corythan carrots for the Garabanian carrots? What then? Your exchange has taught you about large shipments coming in and out of Labyrinthos. Carrots! They're everywhere! You want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books, and ore, and fauna. If it needs hauling, I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in Labyrinthos. You know, sort and tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. They just did one a few summers ago, even. Then, with no warning at all, this mess gets dropped in our laps. Orders from on high. Damned if I know the reason. Could be that they're changing the layout, eh? Preparing for the next big expansion. It sounds like a Final Fantasy XIV expansion, good sir. The exchange taught you about taking stock in Labyrinthos. You trying to play Endwalker, your friend? No, we must do hand and brain chess. Any luck, Butters? What tales did the Gleaners have to tell? You're gonna lurk for a bit? Yeah, no worries, Piero. Thank you so much for the lurk, and I hope your food cooking goes well. Get some foods. You still isn't even talking to anybody. Ah! So this grand operation began without warning? And for every item they bring in, they're sending more inventory somewhere else. That would explain the haggard faces I've been seeing. Or haggard faces. We were right. The Forum is definitely up to something, and they're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process. We would do well to learn more of what, specifically, the Gleaners are being tasked to do, as well as who has tasked them to do it. If you're game, Butters, I have an idea. I'm listening. Didn't one of the Gleaners you questioned say something about escaped marmots? Perhaps if you were to help him capture said creatures, he might be inclined towards a more friendly and enlightening conversation. In the meantime, I will turn my charms upon this Gleaner here. We can compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting! You beat the 1800 bot though, so that's nice. Oh gosh. Hey, you need help with those marmots? You wish to help me find the marmots. I have nothing suitable to pay you for your services, but if you're offering out of the goodness of your heart, I'd welcome the assistance. Yeah, of course. Always. My name's Aaronvale, friend, specialist in the collection of live specimens. That said, the capture of these Nangxian marmots is a trial I've no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. For mercy, they are no other marmot species on this tier at present, so there should be no mistaking our little fugitives. If you happen to catch any, stuff them in this sack. Gently, of course. Where to begin, you wonder? I've not seen any scampering around here, so we'll need to widen our search into the surrounding forest. Be on your guard. There are beasts out there that won't hesitate to prey on a marmot or you. I'll search the trees to the west. The eastern part of the forest is all yours. Good luck. Thank goodness for New Game Plus. I get to. Oh, wait, did the camera die? Hold on. That. That hasn't happened in a long time. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, no, I just noticed that. Like, what happened? I'm gonna reset it real quick. If it's still not working, I'll have to swap to 2D. Sorry, you guys are gonna have to see the chat real quick. There's not really much going on, it's just random jibber. Jibber jabber. If the camera isn't working. Okay, there we go. We got the camera back. I don't know what happened there. What happened? What in the world happened? I'm back, but did not expect that. That was creepy. Yeah, it was creepy. Oh my gosh, a coyote! Tracking software malfunction? I don't think it's that. It's the webcam. I think it was the webcam. Could have the focal changed something else in the room. No, it didn't do that. The lights on the camera were completely off. So the camera had shut off. Barely have you readied the sack when the grizzled mouse scampers off into the underbrush. Oh, come on, get back here. I'm not done with you. Yeah, that was weird. If I'm worried about it more, I'll swap to my PNG. But I might do a poll on that. I mean, otherwise, just, Ellie! Welcome to the stream! How are you doing today? Welcome in! We're just trying to catch this mouse. I have a sack. Rat sack. Oh, no, you don't. The rodent nimbly evades your grasp before once more disappearing into the trees. Get back here, you. Just working? That's good to hear, and I hope work's been going well for you, Ellie. I hope work has been well. How am I? I'm doing alright. Thank you so much for asking. Apparently my VTuber crashed for about a few seconds, so I had to reset my camera. But all is working now. Get in the bag, you grizzled mouse. More prepared for its speed this time, you succeeded in closing the sack over your elusive quarry. I have caught the mouse. We can leave. you, you need to get you a Poppy Pixel masterpiece. Oh heck yeah, definitely. She is an awesome artist and deserves all the love. She's working very hard. Actually, I think I popped into her stream before I started mine. I was lurking for a second. She was working on another piece. Or something. She's just so good. She is. And I know you guys are gonna say, like, or most likely it's gonna be a do what I want to do, but do you guys... Oh no, the camera shut off again. What the heck? That is new. That has never happened before. Why is it shutting off? That's the second... But it's so serene. This music does not help. Sometimes you gotta ape. Yeah, no, this isn't. This is weird. This has never happened before. This is the second time it's happened. I hope it's not dying. Which it. Gosh, the computer is hot. The one side is fine, the other side's hot, but I don't think that would. Hold on. Oh, what the? Let me try something. No, that didn't do anything. Way hot or regular hot? I think it's regular hot, Nox. But yeah, this has not happened before, so I'm gonna have to. I think we're gonna have to improvise here. We're gonna improvise today. You guys are gonna have to forgive me. I'm sorry. This is the first time the camera is actually shut off on my VTuber. I'm also wondering. No, it shouldn't be. What in the world? What? Out of memory? That's not happened before either. At least that was like a temporary thing. Shoot. Okay, we're gonna get this figured out really quick. The best I could do is that you guys could see the character on screen. But even my PNG thing doesn't want to load. Hold on. If it is getting very hot, I don't know what's causing it. Because there's no other source of, like, power. It's like everything I normally run. That's what's strange about it to me. Let me turn this off. If it still doesn't want to load, then we have a problem. But it should load. There we go. Okay, okay. There. And now I just need to pull it up. What the heck? Oh, no. Come on. Don't do this to me. Hey, guess what other program's not working? Streamlabs froze. This is bad. Okay, can I? Oh no. Yeah, no, it's not letting me mess with Streamlabs. It's stuck. What the heck? No, maybe Streamlabs crashed again. I don't know. That's what's strange. I can't even. Okay, let me try to get this off my tablet screen real quick. Yeah, I think Streamlabs may have derped out because it's not. If the stream ends, I will be back in a second.